Yes, hello and welcome to Jamison Oval for round 3 of the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup 2018 season. It's Brett McKay with you for Bar TV Sports. Very much looking forward to our first look in 2018 at Western Queanbeyan in the Hahn Super Dry match of the round. Familiar voice joining me this week in commentary for our long-term match of the round viewers. Queanbeyan, great to have you back as part of the coverage in 2018, mate.
Thanks for having me, Brad. Really appreciate the call-up, and it's awesome to be out here on a sunny Jamison Oval afternoon.
Yeah, fantastic day. It's Ladies' Day here at Jamison Oval, and you can see the big tunnels here in front of me. Queanbeyan have just taken the field here, and we'll get their team details in just a minute. But this is great. The mums and the sisters and the daughters, the uncles and aunts, and everyone's here. It's the way of the players' way of saying thanks for the support. It's magnificent. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. It's hard to find a car park coming in here today, Brad. It's packed out at Jamison, and we're going to get the players to run past us.
Yeah.
You can smell the footy out here. There's a familiar smell to local rugby, and I love it. It's pretty exciting.
It's great. The players have got homemade little wreaths of. They look like they're made up of Mars bars and Skittles and things like that.
They know a way to a woman's heart, that's for sure.
They're running out with their significant others, which is fantastic. It's a great look. We'll go through these teams, mate, because there is plenty of changes in both sides. What is really interesting about this clash for me, Tongi Tau in the loose head for West, and Danny Matthews crossing from Queanbeyan last season in the West jumpers. So that'll be really interesting. The West side, Tongi Tau, Tuatau Chang Tung, and of course Ben Coots up front. Hayden Scott and Kyle Bullman the locks. Ryan Kiley, Mitch Ty, the new captain 2018, and Brody Lever, who played plenty of outside centre last year. He's back at number 8. Chris Ashmore, Seb Lorraway the halves. Byron Hollingworth Desert had a cracking game last week, and he's on the wing with Reece Fuller on the other side. Drew Southwell and Charlie Luderer, of course, in the centres. Danny Matthews at fullback, as I mentioned. For the Whites, there's changes galore. Neri Ndruku at loose head. Les Makin's has been released by the Brumbies to get some game time today, which is fantastic at tight head. Carl Elliott was named at loose head. He's got back playing at hooker, where we're more used to him playing. Toby Wilson and Tom Holland are the locks. Sokatai Tai is at blind side. Dan Pence has gone back to open side after being named at hooker, which would have been interesting in itself.
Are you keeping up, everyone?
No, not really. I'm not. AJ Noah's the lock, and very quickly through the backs as we get underway. Josh White and Will Goddard in the halves. Caleb Malasowska's on debut on the left wing for Queanbeyan as we quickly work our way out of their own half now, and that's Josh White, the Queanbeyan half, is brought to ground deep in their own territory at the moment. They're trying to work their way out of their own 22 here. They're brought down just short of the 10-metre line. They need a clearing kick here, Kieran, and it comes there through Josh White. He's not going to find any ground. He is just.
Yeah, mistake off the kick-off, Brett, while you were finishing up those team lists. West kicked off, made the 10, and there was a knock-on. It was an interesting decision by Mitch Ty, the skipper, to chip over, trying to find them out without anyone behind, but there was no opportunity for West. And now
well taken at the top there from Brody Lever in midfield. It's Mitch Ty with his first run, brought down just on halfway. It's Ashmore gets it away here for West. Lorraway, a nice pointed kick in. It's going to find touch just inside the Queanbeyan 22. That's a really good kick.
That was deft, Brett. That was beautiful stuff early on from Lorraway. He's clearly been practicing before the game, well warmed up, and they'll get a line out. An opportunity to turn over the Queanbeyan Whites line out.
Didn't see a lot of space, but he made the most of it. Quickly finishing that Queanbeyan line, Billy Chalker and Keith Morgan in the centres. Jamie Marmont scored the match winner for them last week against Uni North, and Mitch Douch is the captain today at fullback, who, of course, we saw plenty of last year in a number 9 jersey. As Queanbeyan get this one at the back, and they drop down straight down to a line-out drive, which is effective, and it's making metres already. Plenty of time here for the Whites, but there's been a little knock on. There must have been a knock on at the top of the line out, perhaps.
The referee hasn't made the signal, but that's the best guess that I've got as well, Brett.
They certainly dropped down in the maul quickly, and
he let it go a little bit.
Yeah, let it
long.
Go. If it was a knock on, threw me out a little bit. But regardless, it's really big attacking opportunity now for West. They're only about 5 metres out from the Queanbeyan line, stacked well out toward the open side.
Tell you what, Brett, we were talking to Coach Paul Dillon of the Queanbeyan Whites beforehand. He was looking forward to seeing the ball thrown about. Sticky ball, soft, hard surface, today, in dry conditions. Let's see if West can move it fast.
Scrum wheels around. Is it coming out? Comes out on the Queanbeyan side. That's AJ Noah peeled off the back and found a couple of metres there sideways. Looking for a clearing kick now. Josh White at the back of that scrum, and he's found plenty of ground. Finds touch. Where's he going to pull up? Just short, about 35 metres out from his own line.
I dare say that was the influence of Les Leuluali Ali'i Makin at the front row. That beautiful scrum from the Whites, earning the turnover and not allowing their backline to unleash.
Straight underway here again for West. Lorelei goes open side, goes really wide out there. Reece Fuller, who's cleaned up over there on the Jamison cricket wicket on the far side.
That's gonna hurt
That's
later.
the hard part of the ground, isn't it?
A couple
Seen
of
plenty of runs this summer too for
maybe
West.
a sponge bath later, mate.
Yeah. He's gonna earn that. He's gonna earn that post match rub down as Reece Fuller. But they've got a penalty over there, West. Already, the experience of Ben Coots having a quiet word with referee Brodie Ingram there.
I was having a chat to a couple of the West boys before the game, Brett. I wondered whether they have to unwrap Ben from his mummified coffin before he comes out here. They take the bandage off before he gets to the field. He's oldest player out there by a long way.
By a good way. Of course, these two teams last met in the minor semi-final last year, and apart from Ben Coots, Chris Asmore and Charlie Ludaru, they're the only players that follow over from last year's side.
Roberts has a task on his hand, pulling this team together.
He certainly does. Danny Matthews has it down. He's bringing it up towards the West 10-metre line. He's got Reece Fuller there. He gets over half now. He's brought down there, making ground here well for West, and there's a penalty. Not rolling away in the end as the penalty against Queanbeyan. Building a bit of momentum now, West.
Yeah, that's right. I've noticed that they're not scared to throw themselves in. You've mentioned
They've been
Sorry,
really
Fuller a couple of times. Yeah, Fuller a couple of times. He's thrown himself right at that line, and he's had plenty of ball. This West team haven't had any space to work with yet because Whites are quick off their line.
That's it. That's a really good kick there from Lorelei. He's found touch right on the Queanbeyan 22. West going to the full line out set. It's a quick line out throw. I like this from West. They're not mucking around.
Not at all.
But it's been disrupted in the middle there. It's good work from the Whites. AJ Noah has taken it down to ground. They've got some work to do to get out of their own territory here once again, though, the Whites. White has it at the back. Josh White, that is. That's not a bad clearing kick in the end from Will Goddard. The young number 10.
In attacking territory, Brett, for West. They want to make the most of this.
Yeah, they've only lost about 3.5 metres in the end.
Yeah, that's right.
It's almost a net gain, you'd say.
That's right. They keep turning it over at this line out, though. This would be the fourth in a row if they turn it over again.
Tuati Changtung to throw into a 5-man line out this time. Lieber at the front again. He has it disrupted by the Whites. They're doing a really good job there. This has got to be close to being out. Is it?
Advantage being played.
I reckon Josh White has got his foot on the line then too, the Queanbeyan halfback, but it hasn't been spotted by the
assistant referee. Was in the best spot.
Yeah, happened right in front of him. It's penalty advantage here now to Queanbeyan, and there it is from Brodie Ingram. Again, just caught in from the side, I think is the suggestion.
Yeah, so the pressure valve off, Brett. That a few opportunities for West, but they weren't able to put anything together. Yeah, that's that could come back and bite them later on in this game. That you want to strike early against Queanbeyan, because if they get the flow on, they're one of those teams in this competition that can pile on the points. We've already had a game in the high 30s this year. 39 to 38 was the first
round
win.
one. That's right. Yeah, against Uni North from memory. So Carla throws in, drops down to Josh White. AJ Noah out the back. Goddard's got it in. Plenty of traffic there in midfield. Brought down just inside the West line. Sukatai Tai, always a strong ball carrier when he gets it. White goes there, open side. They're still just trying to work their way into the West Territory. Tom Holland it was with the carry. Goddard goes open side over there for West. For Queanbeyan, I beg your pardon. As ball's gone back there, Brodie Ingram says West have got over the top of this though. They're forced to turn turnover they have. They've got it here, West. Time to build the opportunity. Josh White, beg your pardon, Ashmore's box kicks went charged down.
To go.
No, certainly not. This has been turned over again here, so we've had dual turnovers in the same square metre of space. How big is that carry from Neri Nandruku? Got that, goes wide. It's been intercepted straight away by Loraway. He's got plenty of time and no one in front of him. And West get the first try of the afternoon. Really well read. It's got to be said from Seb Loraway, Kieran.
He was there minutes before, Brett. He knew it was coming that direction, and he really put his side on the line by getting so far out of the defensive line, but it paid off. A couple of pressure sets from both sides. Queanbeyan turning the ball over as they tried to get themselves out of their own half, and most of the game's been played at this end, and West getting the reward for their hard work.
Absolutely, yeah. They fluffed their first attacking opportunities, but he eyed an opportunity there, Loraway, and young Will Goddard. Well, that's part of the lessons of playing senior rugby, isn't it?
That's right.
Just don't quite load up on that one pass.
Maybe not at halfway.
It's very easy for us to say, from here, off the sideline.
Yeah. That's where the experience of Loraway is critical.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned earlier, they've got a lot of newbies in this side. Yeah. Drew Southwell comes back in at number 12. He's old stalwart, 97 games, I believe.
Is that right? Yeah.
For West. Yeah. And he comes back after, I think, a stint overseas.
So completely new midfield combination, obviously, for West with Loraway and Southwell. So, but working well so far.
One of those, absolutely. One of those critical players, Loraway, in this West outfit, and stepping up to the task so far.
So Loraway with the conversion. He's taken it back past the 22, but he's to the left of the post. He's hit that well, but I didn't see flags go up.
Nope, missed it.
No, he's pushed it left. He hit it very well.
Yeah, it was a big clean kick.
Just couldn't convert his own try in the end, Seb Loraway. So 5-0 is the score.
I can see Craig Roberts pull a couple more hairs out of his head, if that's even possible.
Might be why Robbo's wearing a hat today.
That's a struggle.
We're back underway. And so West now bringing it out of their own 22. Ashmore at the back with the kick, putt clearing kick from Loraway in. This has been held up in a little bit of breeze there. Queanbeyan found to be offside though at the ruck, so there's an easy exit coming up.
I was just about to say how much energy Queanbeyan have off their defensive line, Brett, and I think a little bit too much, as the referee has just ruled.
A little bit over-enthusiastic.
Too eager, but both sides bringing the energy out here at Jamison Oval under a blue sky day, and plenty of memories over the other side of the park there at Big Splash. You spent a few hours there, Brett.
Oh, you know what? In 20 years of living in Canberra, I've never been to Big Splash. I'll have to do something about that next summer. That kick touch finder has been held up though in the wind and didn't find it, and in the end it's more carnage there from AJ Noah, the big number 8. He's put down just short of halfway for the Whites. A little bit of breeze at their back at the West, the Whites, so they'll wrap into this. Goddard, plenty of pace out wide there. That's Billy Chalker, the young midfield,
He's
and
got an option
going.
on the inside.
Plenty of opportunity over there. Brought down to ground about 15 metres out from the West line. They're clearing, coming away here through Ty, the blindside flanker with the pick and drive. About 12 metres short here.
That's
the
his
White
trademark. Watch out for the pick and drive all day.
Goddard comes open side there through Carl Elliott for a pick and drive up the middle. West trying to rip that one out. There's centre field here, West, and there's a big tackle up the middle there. That's forced a turnover. That's really good defensive work.
That brings the Ladies' Day crowd to their hands. They are excited about that sort of effort, and again, that energy on show.
So these two sides met 4 times last year in 2017. It was Queanbeyan winning all 3 games through the rounds. 26-20 in round 1, 20-18 in round 5 here at Jamison, 18-5 in round 16 at Campese, and then the minor semi-final, which we've mentioned a couple of times, West 24-8 at Viking Park. So you win the one that matters.
That's right. It doesn't matter
in the end.
Unfortunately, they didn't go all the way for West.
No.
And Royals, who went through undefeated, still undefeated this year.
Yeah, they've started well. Had a bye
up against
round 1, which
the
helped.
Eagles today.
They are. Tuggeranong at ANU North. Playing Uni North today in the other games. We'll try and get some scores through the second half there today as that comes to us. So West with the scrum feed in centre field. They're about 20 metres off their own line. 5-0 here at Jamison. We've had about 12 and a half minutes played here on Ladies' Day. It's a great looking crowd here. There's plenty of people. There's a little bit of breeze, but it's blue skies. You've still got the sniff of barbecue coming through. It's fantastic. And West coming out of their own territory now through Brody Lieber. The young number 8. Oh, the tackle. The lifting tackle. It's play on though. Brody Ingram says. The Whites are back on attack there through Josh White, the scrum half. He put to ground though. He's still going. Now, I think it's not Will Goddard, but they're now inside West 22. The unmistakable figure of Neri Nedruku brings the ball to ground.
Don't miss him, dear.
Inside the 22. Goddard, he comes open side here. And that's Billy Chalker. With a bit of a grubber kick here through. It's in front of Jamie Marmont, though. Yeah,
too much for Marmont, and West's doing well to slide fast across in cover defence.
Yeah, I like the intent, though, from Billy Chalker and Will Goddard in midfield for the Whites. They're playing with plenty of speed. They're going to test this West defence as much as they can.
Yeah, it's 0-0 in their eyes.
Chang Tung with the line out throw. 5 metres off his own line for West. They go to the back. It's taken well there. Ryan Kiley, the blindside flanker.
A little bit of a breath before kicking it away. Lower away. I thought there was a whistle.
Plenty of time. Lower away has decided kicking into the wind's not a good idea. Goes open side, but Queanbeyan coming back through Mitch Douch
today.
Yeah, he's the Queanbeyan captain today. Douch. He was brought down at 35 out and up the middle there. It's
Pensa.
Hey, it is too, Dan Pensa. He's really looking forward to seeing how he'd go at hooker today, but he's back in that familiar number 7 jersey.
I know. I was looking forward to that as well, but he's already attacked at the breakdown and been effective.
Billy Chalker's pass there to Jamie Marmont in the end was just a little bit too far in front of him, and Marmont's just lost that in contact. So it's going to be a West scrum on their 22.
That sun beating down as a few clouds come over now, but a few boys on their haunches after the first few encounters.
It's been a really quick opener to this one, the Hahn Super Dry Griffin Legal match of the round today. It's been a really cracking start.
Yeah, absolutely, and in good spirit, of course, with this community rugby out here. These boys not far from Super Rugby in enthusiasm and standard as well. We see some excellent quality rugby in the John Dent Cup, don't we?
And look, it's great to see Les Macon out there today in the number 3 jersey for the Whites. I know Benny Alexander and Lolo Fakasalea are playing for Uni North over at ANU North today. So
what a boost for them!
Oh, absolutely. Just good to see these guys getting around. It's happening around the country too. We know up in Brisbane and Sydney, there's Super Rugby guys getting back to their clubs all the time. So
yeah, it was something that started before Stephen Larkham's coaching period, and he encouraged it. And the boys always get back and play in this competition.
No, it's been very good to see as a player down receiving some attention there for the Whites. I think that's actually Dan Pensa.
Yeah, it is. He's
hasn't got up from where he's brought down there
on his right leg
a few moments ago. Just getting a little bit of treatment. It might be a groin or a quad, perhaps.
Yeah, he's moving around a bit.
In our medical opinion, of course.
That's right. Us pros up here from we're reporting live from Canberra Hospital.
That's it. So I will, at this little break in play, we should, of course, thank Griffin Legal, who are the John O'Dent Cup Name Your Right sponsors of 2018. It's great to have them on board. Hahn Super Dry, of course, the match of the round sponsors that they have been for a few seasons. Vodafone are on board this year as our man of the match sponsors, and so we won't actually name a man of the match at the end of the game, but we'll make a few suggestions. There'll be a meeting during the week, and that'll be announced in next week's Brumbies Stampede program as well. So we'll offer some suggestions at the end, and of course we thank McDonald's, ACT, Heart Sport and O'Neill's. You're watching the Hahn Super Dry Griffin Legal John O'Dent Cup match of the round on Brumbies Rugby's live streaming partner Bar TV Sports. It's great to be with you from Jamison Oval. Brett McKay and Kieran Deck here in commentary, and both teams they're probably really actually quite enjoying this rest. I mentioned Dan Pence's down, but there's a West player in backfield getting some attention as well. So,
and I saw the number 22 for West just warming up. They might be making some fresh early changes. The home side. Yeah. Coming into this game, Brett, who do you think was the favourites?
I thought Queanbeyan coming in on top of the table probably deserved to be slightly ahead, but home ground advantage at this time of year.
It's hard to tell, isn't it?
It's always hard
only
to tell.
A couple of games. Yeah, I think Dan McKellar, Brumbies coach, picked Queanbeyan as well.
Probably a fair call based on their opening 2 wins.
And coached by Paul Dillon, who's got some pedigree behind him too.
He does. Penalty here to West in the end. The Whites pack not driving straight in the end. Yeah, Paul Dillon taken over from the Whites this year from Adam Fay, who of course has moved on to join the Brumbies women's side. Paul Dillon's ex-St Eddie's himself. He's been coaching up in Sydney with Waverley and Balmain in the second division comp up there. Is this touch finder? Does indeed find touch. Jamie Marmont was a very keen observer of that one. I thought he
took it all the way down.
It was going down his throat at one point. It looked like the wind was just going to hold it up a bit. So Chung Tung to throw in on the Queanbeyan 10 metre line, I beg your pardon. Taken well in the end at the back there for the Whites. Come back to the closed side. Josh White gets this ball at the back, finds Ned Druku, and he finds a couple of metres up there. He's not brought down to ground, and he finds another couple of metres while he's falling over himself. In the end, it's good metres are metres. It doesn't matter how you get them for the Whites. There's a penalty now to Queanbeyan, so they'll have a great opportunity to find some territory. Will Goddard step up with the kick here.
Yeah,
left footer, that's not a bad touch finder.
He's handling the pressure quite well in those orange boots, Goddard, today,
Stands
youngster.
Out, doesn't he?
Yeah. Orange boots, blonde top.
If you're wearing boots like that, you'd want to be pretty handy. He's living up to him at the moment.
He's backing himself.
Carl Elliott throws into the back. It's well down for the Whites. Goddard goes open side. Pass goes behind Billy Chalker. It's scrappy there at the back there for the Whites. Have they cleaned this up? In the end, they have. Threatening attacking moment for West.
Well, they were ready for Pencer.
He's held up. He's got a good offload away there to Tom Holland, but he's lost it in contact. I'm sure there's been a knock on here. There has. There was a good offload there from Les Macon. I'm not entirely sure Tom Holland was ready for it. No. That's why he's just lost it.
And maybe we just had a bit too long of a break with that injury moment. There's lost a bit of spark in their attack, Queanbeyan.
Well, and the sun's gone behind a cloud as well. All of a sudden it's a little bit dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It just sort of feels like we've lost a little bit of intensity in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's dropped down. I guess they can't keep that high intensity all the way through the game. But
no, not the way they started.
That's right. It's already halfway through the first half, would you believe it?
It's gone quick, hasn't it? 20 minutes played. West 5. Leading the Whites 0 here at Jamison.
And neither side really looking like penetrating the defence yet. There was just that lucky grab by Lowaway. Yeah.
Ashmore goes to the open side there through Drew Southwell, who puts a little grubber kick ahead for Reece Fuller, but it has found touch. Down there, flag is up about 30 out in the end from the Whites line. I thought it might have been a little bit further ahead than that, just based on where Mitch Douch was running over in the back corner. But
injuries aside, Drew Southwell there, the kicker, will play his 100th game this year.
Yeah.
97 games.
As the Whites bring it out of their own territory again. That's another strong carry from AJ Noah, the number 8 today. Was originally named at blindside, but he's back to number 8, and he's playing well. There's a charge down here from Goddard, and West have got it over in the end. Ben Coots gets over the top there to secure this ball for the Lions. All of a sudden they're in attacking territory. Southwell comes open side there. He finds Ryan Kiley. He's still going the blind side. He's brought to ground inside the 22. Southwell keeps coming wide here to Charlie Lutaroo. He gets a pass in the end there to Hollingworth Descent, and he's just lost it behind him. Had a really good game, as I mentioned last week. Byron Hollingworth Descent was named in the team of the week for round 2, as was Brodie Lieber, the young West number 8. They had a good win over over Uni North.
He needed the third arm.
But West, they had the draw against East. West did.
He needed a third arm there, to reach behind him.
One at least.
He's already 2 steps in front of it by the time the pass came out.
So, yes, last week it was Queanbeyan with the 24-15 victory over Uni North. So I'm getting my games mixed up here. West led 22-3, as I mentioned, against East here at Jamison and Georgia Moore. So 3 tries to find another 2 points.
He's always been a strong talent, more so. And
I can't hear myself, guys.
And obviously the team coming together for East now, Brett.
Yeah.
Also finding...
they're going really well. East,
finding some ball.
They've started the season very well. Their first win in round 1, and then to guts out a draw last week like they did East, it's very good to see.
They've always struggled to get it out to their flying wingers, even though they've got some talent in the back.
They've had Tim Cornfall's going to East from Royals last year.
That's a great get. Yeah.
Brought a couple of players with him, and that's made a huge difference. Les Macon just rejoins the Whites side here.
Yeah, that stacked Royal side. A few guys struggling to get some starting game time. Looking to make it a serious undefeated streak.
Yep,
the men in blue.
So another attacking opportunity. I'm trying to find the ball here. Josh White has it for the Whites. Defensive scrum for them. West still fancy their chances here. They've always had a strong pack. I'd like to have a crack here inside the Queanbeyan 22. White feeds for the Whites. The scrum's gone to ground.
Good call. That was strong.
Play on. He's got penalty advantage. I think I've seen an arm out as Goddard goes open side and finds Keith Morgan over there in the outside centre. It's a great carry over there. In the end, it's Caleb Malasauskas on debut. Penalty advantage here now to West. But a little knock on there. Beg your pardon.
Yeah, unfortunately, an opportunity there it certainly was. I think it was actually Mitch Douch there at the inside centre. He found himself in some space, and that characteristic acceleration of the fullback. I mentioned before the call, Brett, I think that Douch at fullback's very interesting. He definitely has that acceleration, which is handy in that position, but he reads the play better than most. And
really well, yeah.
Being at scrum half, I can recall him matching Joe Powell in the Vikings outfit when he was playing local rugby before he got called up to the Brumbies. And Douch at fullback's an interesting call from Coach Paul Dillon, but I think he proves just then that he can be dangerous out there.
Now we've got a change here for the Whites. Dan Pencer, it looks like he has succumbed to his leg complaint. I can see he's just holding a hamstring. Right, so that's Ryan Jones in number 23. It's gone on.
Yeah, Jones named
handy
skipper before the start of play.
And named at blindside. Was going to captain the Whites today. And
Les Macon coming in pushed him out.
They've done the musical chairs roundabout change. So Ryan Jones into the game now. So
another man down there.
It's Malasauskas, I'm sure, over on the far side. I've got binoculars here in front of me. Why don't I just use them? Yeah, it is. It's the young winger, Caleb Malasauskas. His first grade debut today.
Yeah, not the way you'd like to start it.
No. He'll be hoping that frees up before too long.
Absolutely. Can't really tell from this side of the field whether he's gone off, but it looks like he's heading around the back to the Whites bench, the northern end of the ground.
He's just walking back into. He's still on the field, or is it? He's walking back with a trainer.
Yeah, we've got number 21 here.
Oh, yes, we have too.
Can you ready to run on?
So, Brody Ingram, our referee, I think is just trying to work out in the middle And like that change has been made. Lani.
Oh, hang on. It looks like I'm going to change.
That's him, though. West feed this in the end through Ashmore's. Queanbeyan scrum's gone through them, though, and they win the penalty. Really good work there from the Whites.
Yeah, they've been powerful so far today. That's not the first scrum that they've won. Les Macon leading the pack, and Soccer Tie at the back is all sorts of power. And so Carl Elliott will restart for the Whites.
Just getting some live updates on these Queanbeyan changes, and my thanks
Good
to
on
Mick,
them.
their manager.
Yeah, keeping it up,
Walking
nice
over.
and quick.
Kyle Hands in number 25 is the man that's gone on there for Caleb Malasauskas.
Straight from the horse's mouth to you at home.
Literally as it happened, that change. And we've just got word as the Whites now push this driving maul forward. It's good work there. Soccer tie. They've peeled off and they've gone down the short side, the Whites. Brought to ground just short of the West 22. Toby Wilson with a little pick and drive. They've gone short side again, just trying to open up space on this open side. Josh White peels it out. He's got hit at the back there, though, and there's a penalty. They've come back to a penalty now to the Whites. They've gone back to the point of that line-out drive, Kieran, for West, just hitting the maul from the side by the looks of that signal from Brodie Ingram.
Yeah, a little bit of ill discipline creeping into West game as we just get down to about 11 and a half minutes to go in the first half.
Not a bad touch finder, though. They're inside the West 22. Carl Elliott steps up again for the Whites, throwing to a full line out. Tie at the back. It's taken the middle there from Ryan Jones, the flanker. Dropped down to the line-out drive. It's been working well for them. But West have got this at the back. There's been a turnover here for the Lions. Goes back to Southwell for the clearing kick. And that kick's been held up in the wind again.
He's
done very well there. Ball comes out to Douch, and he finds Marmont on this open side. He's got plenty of space if he can find it. Marmont gets a bit of an offload in the end there.
For Jones, there was.
Morgan, it was. There's a good offload there to Douch. Gets a grubber kick ahead before he's bundled in to touch himself. And the flag's going up there. I was going to say, I'm sure Chris Ashmore's put a foot on the line. And he did in the end. That was promising again from the Whites there.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't the most obvious route back towards the try line, was it? They tried to chance their boot towards the right wing, but it's not really coming off.
And that followed just in the previous play. They went pick and drive, all inside the tram channels on the tram tracks on the other side.
Yeah.
It's a narrow attacking focus for the Whites at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder if they might try something a bit different this time, this close to the line.
In the middle 40 metres, you'd suggest?
I would suggest that.
Carl Elliott.
No white chalk there.
No, the Whites have disrupted this again. The West have disrupted this again, I beg your pardon. They've done really well.
No.
They've got this at the end, I'm sure. Ashmore gets a little box kick away. Marmont has got this, though, and goes open side straight away there to Douch, but we've come back for a knock-on. I think that'd be from the original line-out.
Yeah, it was.
West are getting some good pay in the set piece, even when it's not their ball there. If they're not winning the first contact in the scrum, they're pushing through on the second shove and getting somewhere. If they're not necessarily getting up for the line out, they're still able to disrupt the maul. They're doing well at the set piece contest today, West.
And it's a switch from early on in the game when we would most of the game has been played in the last 10 minutes or so down this end of the field.
Ends, haven't we?
Yeah, at the northern end of the field, Queanbeyan were doing so well disrupting West line out, and I dare say we'll go into half time without any more points scored unless Queanbeyan can find a way through.
Big call with 9 minutes to go in the first half.
I'm doing it. I'm bold.
All right. It's a big scrum again here for the Whites. They've pushed right through this West scrum, and it has to be a penalty for them. West scrum just disintegrating, and that's not something that I've had to say about a West scrum too much in the last year or so. Already I can see the Whites say, we'll have another crack at that, thanks.
Oh, well, it's well matched. Look at that front row. Niori Njuruku plenty of experience there alongside Les Macon and Carl Elliott. I mean, it's hard to come up against that front row and win, 50%.
And I'll mention it again, they're up against Tonga Tangitau, the loose head for West, who they would have been packing with this time last year. He's switched sides at the end of last season.
They get a chance to catch up in the front row, do you reckon?
Oh, I'm sure that's what they're doing right now. G'day, boys. How you going?
How is it up north?
Yeah. Still using that same shift right, drive in from the side method again, like we taught you last year. So Josh White feeds. It's a big attacking scrum.
So hard
for the Whites again. Exactly. They've got this going forward, but AJ Noah's left it behind. There is a penalty. They're definitely well and truly on top in this scrum contest. West penalised there for pulling out of the scrum effectively.
West really testing Mike Hall there. They have not stepped up to this set piece. I thought that they'd be able to clear it, but Queanbeyan are changing the flow of this game with a couple of penalties in their favour.
Westpac is under plenty of pressure right at this point in time with about 7.5 minutes to go in this first half at Jamison Oval. It's been a thoroughly enthralling Hahn Super Dry Griffin Legal John Dent Cup match of the round so far. So the Whites with another scrum feed. They're too far out for penalty try at this point. They need to be closer, but the way their scrum's going, that could happen yet. West scrum has gone straight to ground. Balls at the back. Brody Ingram tells Josh White to use it. They go wide through Goddard and he
Morgan.
Yeah, it was Keith Morgan in the end, just dropped it in contact, and West have it again.
That's his second knock on, Brett.
Yeah,
for the day.
Just a few soft carries. That kick's been charged down though for West, so the Whites will be straight back on attack, but there's a knock on there. So coming back for the charge down, I suppose.
Give the ball back to the scrum halves.
Again, the Whites won't mind this.
Not at all. Not at all. They've been so dominant in the last sort of 15 minutes or so, really.
Absolutely. Opportunity to have another crack at this West scrum. So still 5-0 here at Jamison. The try. Well, it was nearly 25 minutes to go to Seb Laurelway, the West fly half of the intercept.
It's almost a mirrored half, Brett. Both equal opportunity.
A half
in the
of two halves, you might say.
I don't know, my journalism teacher might not enjoy me using that many words.
We mix metaphors like that.
But,
Ashmore feeds here for West.
West are going to have to clear it. They're going to have to go for field position.
A world of trouble. It's penalty advantage here for the Whites. They're well and truly on top of this. They've managed to get this ball going forward. Here the Whites.
5.5 to go.
They've got straight through the middle. This will be a try.
Like a ghost, Ryan Jones.
Is it Ryan Jones who's got up with it?
I believe it was Ryan Jones with the big beard.
Had that scrum going forward, and they had it going forward as if it kept going forward as if it was driving maul, and the West scrum has just splintered. Ryan Jones has picked it up and, he strolled through to score under the post.
And usually for Queanbeyan, in that sort of scenario, you'd see Sokotai sneaking out the back, but it's Ryan Jones picking it up, and it might be looking for the men with the most hair on their face. Ryan Jones happily ghosting through there, and Sokotai sitting at the back. But what an effort from Queanbeyan to maintain that pressure. They turned it over once, and it looked like they'd lost their sting.
Goddard converts from in front, so the Whites have taken the lead here with just under 5 to play here at Jamison. It's shot your bold prediction, Kieran, of no more points in the first half.
I just wanted to see a try.
We've certainly seen that now. Will Goddard with the conversion gives the Whites the first half lead here at
taking
Jamison.
Their time back to halfway.
I was just going to say that. West, they are in no hurry at all to get this game underway again. We'll restart through Drew Southwell with a bit over 4 minutes on the clock here at Jamison Oval. Southwell hits this one nicely.
Brian Keeley was offside on this side, but I'm not sure the rest got it.
From Toby Wilson. Brought down about 5 metres in from touch. They go wide through AJ Noah. Add a little bit of width to their game. They're still about 30 metres out from their own line as Josh White goes that far side again. Goddard leaves the pass behind him, and West have got this now through Brody Lever, the number 8. Ashmore goes short side. Once again, he finds Fuller, it was, in the end, the winger. Mitch Ty got a touch in there in the end. Ball's gone loose.
I think he knocked it on.
Got it, yeah. Mitch Ty. It wasn't a great pass, it's got to be said.
Must have been a white hand in there, Brett.
Yeah.
It's been
you're right,
West.
Kieran. No, well spotted. Well spotted.
So 3.5 to go, and West with a...
Well, all of a sudden, this is now a taking opportunity for them.
Yeah, well, it's the first in a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, and if they can sort out their scrumming issues and get a good first shove on here, this is where Ben Coots comes into his own.
Oh, yeah, it's time for him to step up. I was, as I said before, talking to a few of the West boys before the start, and they say that scrum practice isn't everyone's favourite. It is, however, Ben Coots' favourite. He does not mind getting down low and dirty.
Well versed, a master, you would say, in the dark arts.
Yes.
A veteran.
Former Queensland Reds player.
Yeah, spent some time up at the Reds years ago. And when you've got experience like Ben Coots, you can't not follow him, really, as part of the West Pack. You've just got to... Whatever you want, Mr. Coots, let's drive that way.
That's right. He's a pseudo-captain out there, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when they pack down.
And again, going back to last year, he got that yellow card in the prelim final, which was his third for the season, ruled him out for the grand final, and they really missed him in the end on grand final day. So he's so huge and so vital to their makeup. West, as Ashmore feeds this scrum, it's about 7 metres out from the Queanbeyan line. Has it at the back. The West scrum has held up well. Lieber picks it out at the back. Southwell takes it at first receiver. Brings Charlie Luteru Barron and he's back. He's getting it to crash over here. Charlie Luteru, he has scored. Really good work there in midfield from the West centres. And if we're talking experience, we've got to throw Charlie Luteru into that mix as well.
Yeah, a couple of Luterus in this West club, and he is one of the most experienced, of course, not scared to bounce and spin his way over the try line there.
It's really well done. I like the little run from Southwell at first receiver to come open side, and Charlie Luteru was always coming back on the inside.
Incidentally, Brett, I'm offering my services to any team that wants to score a try. I'll come and commentate and make bold calls just so that you can get over the white line.
Commentator's curse working well once again.
Well, we had one try in about 25 minutes. It was actually nearly 35 minutes, wasn't it, Brett? Now we've had 2 in 5.
Two in 2 minutes has been very good. So yes, Kieran Deck services are now on the line and available for all John Dent Cup sides in 2018. To be in your defence, you're not even the first co-commentator this year who's suffered that standing next to me, so you're in good company, I would say. Drew Southwell lines up this conversion. He's hit it pretty well, but again, he's pushed it across the face.
Yeah, he's sided 2 to the left of his body, hooked the first one and then slid the second.
So it remains 10-7 here. We're well inside the last minute. I didn't actually catch how long Brody Ingram said we've got to go. We're underway again here through West, and Southwell certainly seems to be playing a lot more at first receiver for West here in these last 10 minutes. And it's working well for them, that clearing kick of his.
Yeah, I can't...
West back inside the Queanbeyan half.
Has Lorelei come off? Because I actually...
No, I can see there has been a change there. I can see there's a player in 22 there for West. We'll try and get that change for you as Ryan Jones take this at the back for the Whites, and they come open side through Goddard, who puts a little chip in over the top, finds plenty of space. West have knocked it backwards, but they've cleaned it up.
Out of trouble.
Ashmore. West now clinging to a narrow lead as we head into half-time. Southwell keeps going open side, finds Brody Lieber, who's running around in the centres again, where he spent plenty of time late last year. A young under-20s rep from last season. Ashmore comes open side, and they find there Ryan Kiley brought down on the 10-metre line, centre field. It was come loose.
It was a great pickup moments ago from West, just here on the 10-metre line. That was a try saver, I reckon. There was no one at home, and 3 Queanbeyan Whites players were in pursuit, so great work under pressure.
It really was. I think that might have even been Ryan Kiley that came.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Came across in desperation, come up ahead of Hollingworth Descent just to clean up. Funny what desperation does to you when the...
Yeah, no, it was really important, especially for the morale of the side, to go 3 points up instead of another try to Whites.
Considering where they were, only a few minutes ago, they would have been disappointed to have gone in at 7-5 down, so to have edged their way back into this game through plenty of hard work and a really good scrumming effort back down in the far corner.
And it's always a good tell, Brett, the crowd here, the home crowd has lifted again.
Yeah, there's a buzz about them again as this White's scrum is going forward. West scrum's under plenty of attack. There's a penalty advantage being paid here. Goddard comes open side, steps off his right and bumps off the tackle of Brodie Lever to find a couple of metres. Josh White was going to do a little dart down the short side and suddenly found himself in plenty of traffic.
It was unorthodox from Lever.
Goddard goes open side there. Les Macon, he's brought down just short of the 22 in centre field. The Whites keep going far side through Goddard. He's lost it. West have got this now, but there's a penalty to the Whites.
That's it.
There will be a discussion here of some sort because we'll have to play that penalty, surely.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a yellow card here.
It is.
It's Tangi Tau, the West loose head, with a yellow card. And that's an interesting one, I've got to say, Kieran, because it's not like there had been a lot of infringements.
Yeah, no, the penalties have been pretty routine.
Yeah.
And Tangatau's obviously been under a lot of pressure in that front row of the scrum alongside Ben Coos. Maybe there was something said, or
might have just been in the wrong place at the right time, at the wrong time, perhaps. He's copped the wrath of referee Brodie Ingram.
We might have to turn the lights on soon, Brett.
I was going to say, it's got awfully cloudy and dark here as Will Goddard lines up this penalty from about 35 out, pretty well right in front of the posts. To make it 10-all at half-time. He's hit this pretty well. Assistant referees are unmoved, but the flag stayed down.
Oh, that's a shame. I think that would have been the perfect way to finish this half.
Agree.
It's been so tight. Both these sides deserve to go in at equal pegging.
Yeah, I think 10-0 would have been a pretty fair representation of the first half. So
absolutely.
Short kick-off there for West. They regain on their own line. Brodie Lever, he's been brought down just short of the 10-metre line, about 2 metres in from touch.
He's just a ball of muscle, Lever.
He is. Whites get through. There, Ben Coots has lost this in midfield, and that might be it for the first half. A little bit of push and shove there in the end between Carl Elliott and Ben Coots. Just a frank exchange of views between rowers. Nothing in that.
I reckon at training, Coots would have let a few of those go past if they passed it to him a few metres in front of him.
Yeah.
He had to reach for it now.
You're suggesting that right on half-time he hasn't quite had enough scrums, so he's put his hand out.
Maybe he wants one more. Maybe he wants one more.
Interesting theory. It's an interesting theory. So West have to make a change here, of course. They've brought on a loose head to pack down there for Tangi Tau. And so they would have had to shed a flanker. Looks like Ryan Kiley has come off.
Yeah, that's right.
The blindsider.
Had a good game so far, Kylie?
Yeah, he's been strong, the blindsider.
And I think it was him who I praised earlier. I didn't quite catch who it was.
Yeah,
but
with that desperation just in front.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Again, this white scrum is going forward with plenty of time. AJ Howard just bumps off Southwell in midfield. White's on attack here. Ryan Jones, he's just peered off 10 metres for fun.
That was
still
marvellous.
Going ahead here, the Whites. They're only about 5 metres out. All of a sudden, Queanbeyan. Josh White, slow ball at the back. He can't get it quickly when he really wants it. Penalties now being played. West not rolling away. And I suggest to you, Kieran, there's more points in this first half yet.
Don't ask me ever again to make a prediction. I think
what do they do here, the Whites? They have gone for the scrum option again.
I think they go again. Yeah, for sure. They're on the front foot. West's the downer man.
Downer man, of course, yeah.
And they haven't had a chance to really throw their arm, but obviously they had that success right underneath the post before.
Brodie Ingram's just had a fairly strong word there to the West scrum. So they are absolutely on notice here. Defensive scrum, one man down. They're, let's call it, 6 metres off their own line. If there's another penalty here, I wonder if we're going to see another West forward joining Tonga Tangitau here on the naughty chair down in front of us.
Yeah, it would not be unlikely, and we have a few minutes now into extra time.
Yeah,
it'll be a hard way for the home side to go into half time.
Going forward, Ty has it at the back, the blindside. Ball spills out. Brodie White has got it. In the end, Brodie Ingram says, no, that's enough. That's a penalty try. It was always coming, you felt.
Yeah, not reaching half-time for his pocket either, Lever. So the West scrum get away with it, and Queanbeyan end up ahead. I don't think I would have predicted that for much of the first half.
So that is half-time, of course. The Whites with the penalty try, it's an automatic 7 points. Now you don't need to convert, so 14 points to 10 is the half-time score here at Jamison. We'll take a break for a few minutes and see if we can gather some scores from around the grounds. We'll be back with you very shortly. much of him this season.
It's a long way for a West game when he's got a contract with the Western Force.
Of course he is. I know that Tim Sampson was a huge fan of Harry Lloyd's work during the NRC. So, of course, Tim Sampson headed West just before the start of the season. It's not a bad call in the end. West well on attack there. Danny Matthews takes some hard, heavy treatment from his former teammates. They're still going forward here. It's David Moser, the replacement prop for the
inside.
The Queanbeyan Locks have done really well to keep this ball up. I think we've got a maul situation now. Ball's gone down. West still on attack here now.
Tunnels.
Ashmore goes open side to Southwell. He's looking for runners there. That's the Lock Borman in the end. They're only a few metres out here, surely, but have we got another penalty here to Brody Ingram? Is he calling penalty? No, it's play on. West still on attack here through Matthews, the fullback. Only again 3 or 4. No, strike that. They've gone a few metres forward again. They're only got to be 2 metres away here now. Ashmore trying to get this ball, but Queanbeyan have forced them all out of that.
That's a win for Whites against their old teammate Matthews.
Absolutely. I thought he'd done well on the second attempt there, Danny Matthews, just to win that contact, but evidently the Whites forwards have just held him up.
A couple of little pushes there from Ben Coots. Boiling over a little bit. The big guy.
Bit of frustration. It has been a little bit scrappy, it's got to be said, in the last few minutes. But again, West are in the right part of the field. They will fancy their chances here. Their scrum has been in trouble this game so far, but they're in the right part of the field. So.
We mentioned Matthews there. He really hasn't had much of the ball, and he's a dangerous player when he does find space.
Absolutely he is.
If they can open him up, they might be able to sneak their way back into this game. There's plenty of time, Brett. 22 to go.
Absolutely. 26-10. The Whites leading with 22 to go. This Queanbeyan scrum, it's been a feature all day. Ball's spilled out. Ashmore's on it, but the penalty's been blown.
Past the line.
Once again, the West pack just not staying square. And the way this Queanbeyan scrum's been going today, it's not entirely surprising.
It looks like it's a wet day out there. That turf getting dug up.
Really does.
It's been raining for 4 days, but of course we haven't had much rain in Canberra.
No, I'm not used to seeing Jamison Oval this green at this time of year, I've got to say.
There's almost double figures the amount of scrums that have been made down there.
Quick line out for the Whites through Carl Elliott. One well again by Ryan Jones. Goddard, he's in a bit of space in through midfield. He's brought down about 35 out in centre field now. The Whites trying to work their way back into attacking territory. Chalker with a little kick over the far side for Jamie Marmont. Cleaned up well there by Reece Fuller on the wicket square on the far side. Ball's gone loose. The Whites have regathered it, but there is a knock on. So it's a Queanbeyan knock on at the end. That'd be the Jamie Marmont knock on that regather of the kick.
Even though there's a lot of time left, Brett, I would say that was a pretty critical passage of play. They got a few opportunities West and didn't capitalise.
Yeah, and the first opportunity Queanbeyan had to mount a bit of an attack somewhere near their 10-metre line, they look pretty good again. That's an indication of where the momentum perhaps is swinging again.
We were a few minutes to go and West led 10 points to 7 before Queanbeyan put a couple of tries on in the dying minutes of that first half, and I reckon if they held on to that lead, it might be a different story right now. That momentum is everything.
So Brody Ingram's he's just pulled this scrum back infield off that centre wicket square. Of course, that's the
good call.
It is a good call. We've seen how much, but the two packs have been ripping up turf, and so they wouldn't have the same sort of traction on that harder clay of the wicket square.
Oh, they got it out.
Done well here through Brody Lever. This is a man who likes to get around in space. Lever has spent plenty of time in the centres. It's a good offload there to Ashmore. West deep on attack here now, looking for runners out in the wide there. That's David Moser, the replacement.
No one.
He had no one, but he did the right thing and took it to ground. They're still going here, West, so with a pace patient build-up. Southwall's in there now directing traffic around. That's a good carry up the middle there through Tang Chung, the hooker. Ashmore's back in place now to come open side. Finds Southwall. There's Ryan Kiley, the blindsider. It's a good tackle there by Keith Morgan, the outside centre for the Whites.
You can hear Robbo saying, just relax, take a breath.
Southwall goes open side once again to finds the replacement lock there, who's a Radicki Samo lookalike. He's an absolute dead ringer for Radicki Samo.
Absolutely. Let's see if he runs like him too.
Absolutely. See if he's got that one-handed carry. But West have got the penalty. Ashmore takes quick. Oh. There's a big tackle on Tang Chung, the hooker.
Noah.
AJ Noah with a bell ringer. West have still got this. They're on attack. They're very close to the touchline, and now the Whites might have a man on the.
No, it's the man, the West man.
Yeah, these two.
He went down, and there was a little bit of concern for him.
It was the hooker,
Chang Tung.
Tuati Chang Tung. Yeah, he was brought down that bell ringer from AJ Noah. AJ Noah. So he's actually come to ground. We can see on top of AJ Noah. AJ Noah's doing the right thing. Has not moved.
Yeah.
So
they're out there quick. That was chilling. Brett, what a hit.
And worth noting that both the Queanbeyan and West's trainers here are now working together. This is one of those situations where team loyalties don't really mean a lot. And this is one of the really good things that I love about rugby, that player safety and player management is at the forefront. And so this is a genuinely concerning moment here now.
Yeah, Craig Roberts, the coach of West,
has walked on the field. So they're trying to... I can see Darryl, their manager, there. I think they'll be... I think we're going to have a fairly significant break in play here. We've had...
Yeah, OJ Noah's back up now and out of there.
Right,
so they've been able to move him.
They've managed to get AJ Noah free, but the West trainers still paying very, very close attention and stabilising, making sure there's no movement, no ill movement here from Tuati Tang Chung, the West hooker.
Yeah, they'll be looking after him well, Brett.
Yeah. Receiving plenty of attention there now. Of course, it's Ladies' Day here at Jamison Oval, and I suspect that's his mum on the field there as well. Just talking to him, offering him a bit of support. It's the lady there in the striped top, just next to the Queanbeyan trainer who's on the ground holding his head still.
I do note, Brett, that actually Queanbeyan haven't made a lot of changes for fitness. They're looking quite strong out there, despite the fact that they haven't moved people around in this second half.
So they're leading 26 points to 10 at the moment. This break in play, as I mentioned, I think it's going to be of a reasonable length here, as all the right sort of attention is given here to Tuati Tang Chung, the West hooker. It's Brett McKay here at Jamison Oval. It's the Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup match of the round, brought to us by Hahn Super Dry, as it is every week. Kieran Deck's with me here in co-commentary. It's been a really, really interesting game, Kieran. It's been a domination from the Whites forwards, it's got to be said, but Westwood just building back into this game there when Tang Chung was brought down in an absolute bell ringer from AJ Noah, the Queanbeyan lock. Yeah,
they were building in on the back of an invite from Whites to give him a few opportunities, didn't they? Penalty knock on. Yeah. And I've loving watching West take that opportunity. That's the real challenge here, and you can said before, you can hear Craig Robert just willing them to be patient and take those opportunities as they come and not chance their hand, because as I said before, there's still plenty of time left on the clock for them to make up that 16-point deficit.
So the Whites won a penalty try on the stroke of half-time that gave them a 14-10 lead at the break. A runaway try to Carl Elliott just after the break put them ahead 21-10, and then the young lock Tom Holland scored in the 53rd minute. Will Goddard wasn't able to add the extras. That brought us to 26-10. Tuati Tang Chung is walking from the field, and that is a really, really good sign.
Yeah,
It was great to see some applause from around the ground here at Jamison Oval.
He's been very good today. We haven't mentioned him much, but he has run the ball more than any of the forwards for the West.
Following some fairly big footsteps too. TP Lutteru was really strong for West all last year, but he's of course not here today. We're back underway though, so West now have this attacking line out for about 5. They are on that 5 metre line there, aren't they? So that looks like David most of the replacement props going to throw this in. So he
looks like he's practiced a bit too, Brett. That was a nice throw.
That was a nice throw, except for the part where it wasn't straight. So that practice might not quite be enough in the end. So a turnover, an unforced turnover, it's got to be said here to the Whites. So they'll get an opportunity to exit off the back of this scrum. So the clock's managed to reset. I think we've got around about 17 and a half to play here at Jamison Oval in the Hahn Superdry Griffin Legal John Ident Cup match of the round.
Yeah, after a bit of a rest, I'd say Whites will be really keen to step this attack up. It's their first opportunity to have a big win this year.
They've got a short arm penalty off this scrum. West just driving in a little bit early there. I would reckon the Whites will... They're not going to take the scrum option. That surprises me a little bit.
For the first time, maybe they need a rest.
With a kick forward, his kick's been held up though in the wind there. Reece Fuller takes it well for West. He finds Danny Matthews, who snakes across into midfield like he used to for Queanbeyan last year. That very familiar run of his. There's no one at the back there as Ashmore finally gets there for West. He lines up our Radiki Samo lookalike, who's brought to ground the Queanbeyan 10 metre line. Ball's gone behind a couple of players there. Ryan Kiley, he picks it up there. Brought to ground well there by Carl Elliott, right on halfway now. West about 3 metres in from touch. They go for the pick and drive there through forward. Southall takes it. He goes open, finds Amosa. There's been a turnover here in midfield. I think Ryan Jones got his hand on for Queanbeyan. There is a turnover. Carl Elliott, he has it in space there now. That's Ty. The open side of it there with the John Cartwright special around the corner.
There was no way through though. There was no track for Les Macon to make.
It was ambitious.
To get there. It certainly was from the forwards there, but I think it's ambitious because they all look so relaxed out there, Brett.
Yeah.
Queanbeyan are cruising to the scrums, to the set piece, and even in defence, they're just doing the job.
Yeah, they were ready for that line out well before West were. It's almost as if to say, come on, we're ready. Let's go. Come on, we're ready to go. So West throw into a 6-man. Brodie Lieber gets up. It's disrupted ball again.
Elliott
the
again.
Whites have got it on the ground there through Carl Elliott, who's had a strong game for the Whites, but has he knocked it on in his regather?
He's not too happy about that call. He had to look at the referees to say, really?
No, he's the very definition of bemused right at this point in time, Carl Elliott.
Tell you what, he deserves a rest though.
Replacements for the Whites. A couple of replacement props going on there. Neri Nendruku, Carl Elliott coming off. Now this to me... No, I was going to, for the briefest of moments, I thought Les Macon was actually packing down the hooker, but that surely,
no,
surely not. Yeah. So Ashmore feeds for West, and again the Whites scrum is going forward immediately. They can't win it. Ashmore gets it out to Southwell for a not the best looking clearing kick, but it's going to find touch. No, it's not. Over on this far side, the Whites coming down to ground on the centre wicket area, just inside halfway. There's a flag up there on the far side. Douch, the fullback, was just held up in the contact.
Yeah, again, shut down pretty easily when he finds some free space. He doesn't have a lot of weight behind him, Douch.
No.
And he's
not too many scrum halves do.
No, that's true. As fullback, though, he's that's kind of my point, is that I'd like to see him playing scrum half more for the Whites.
Lieber won that line out well for West, and Mitch Ty gets a good bump off in midfield. field, I beg your pardon. West, this ball's loose. It's popped out the back. It's picked up at the back there by Ryan Kiley. Skirts around that open side. He's in the middle now, Kiley. He's in plenty of space. He's trying to find some support there. But it's Brody Lieber. He picks it up. They're still going open side here. He finds Southwell over there near the 22. West now on attack. They've got the ball where they needed it finally. Ashmore comes open side. And that's Ryan Kiley there, the man who made the break. He's looking for an offload. He finds Charlie Luderu, the try scorer. Luderu is shooting for the corner. Is he going to get there?
He got there.
He has. A great try for West. Craig Roberts wanted grind after half time, and that's what they've done.
Well, that was much more professional, Brett, from West. They went to the left side of the field and then cleanly back to the right side. And that experience that we're talking about before coming to the fore for this home side. Luderu.
Experience. That's what it comes down to.
Certainly looking to those guys who've had a few more games under their belt.
Absolutely. That break up the middle there from Ryan Kiley, that set it all up.
Yeah.
I thought for the briefest of moments when he started first looking to the open side, there was no one there, but there was a sky blue jersey in the middle of all that white, as it turned out, and they kept the ball going really well, West, and they just managed to find guys in space.
And Luderu's decision to reach for the line was a great one. No doubt he had 2 or 3 players screaming in his ear to pop it up, but he had the length, he knew he had the length, and he went for that chalk.
It was closer than he realised, quite obviously. So Charlie Luderu with his second try for the day for West.
Well, it's not where we thought the try would come from. Halfway, long-range try is not common in these contests.
You don't have to draw a picture on the scoreboard. That's the important part here. Now, Danny Matthews has taken over the kicking since Seb Lorraway went away, and Matthews' kick has curled around.
Not quite enough.
I'm telling you, I had a really good look on that, and I reckon that's gone inside the right upright.
You thought it was there?
Yeah, I did. I really did. But flags have stayed down for Danny Matthews' conversion.
It must have been inches, Brett, because from my angle, I thought it was just outside.
Right? Yeah, okay.
And I don't mean to be contrarian, but I think...
But you're going to
I'm
anyway.
going to be.
Ashmore with this kick downfield here for West. Doesn't find touch. Mitch Douch has it in midfield here. He's in a little bit of space there for the Whites. Brought down now just inside the West half. Queanbeyan now. They've got the ball in attacking territory, and they've got their tail up a little bit. With a strong carry there for Les Macon. West getting a little bit ambitious and overly enthusiastic there at the ruck. A strong carry here on this short side from one of the Whites' replacement props. A good carry there from Ryan Jones, who's had a big impact since he came on about midway through the first half for Dan Pencer.
Yeah.
Goddard goes open side once again through Billy Chalker, who gets a great offload there. That's Kyle Hands there in number 25, a replacement for the Whites, and he's lost it in contact.
I'm starting to think maybe the Ryan Jones off the bench replacement was a tactical decision, because he has been huge for Whites today.
Really good, yeah. That's not a bad call. It's not a bad call at all. He's we've mentioned a few times he was named at blindside and as captain.
Yeah.
And the return from the Brumbies this week of Les Macon has forced a bit of a reshuffle for Paul Dillon, the Whites coach. Ryan Jones was the casualty of that reshuffle, but he's literally made every post the winner out there today, coming off the bench in number 23. And
a try and a try assist doesn't get much better than that.
Has looked very good in space when he's had it. He's been strong in the line out. I think he's called and won just about every line out that's been thrown to him. As Ashmore comes away here now for West, and I thought he was in a little bit of space before he's brought to ground there. Soakai Tai. Southwell gets a kick over the head of Mitch Douch, and this is going to run on. Douch has got plenty of work to do down there
on his own now.
Bottom corner. He'll need to run out of here unless he's going to get a kick. He's not. He's brought to ground beautifully. They're under huge pressure here now, the Whites. West have won this turnover, have they? No, they haven't. They've lost their feet. They've done the hard work.
A shame.
There was a real turnover opportunity there for West, and that's just a little bit of ill discipline.
I was about to call that as the third major momentum swing of the game, Brett. We had West for the first 20 minutes and then Whites for the middle 40, and with a try just before and West looking likely.
Just proving that, once again, that momentum is a fickle beast in rugby. Changes regularly and often. and then regularly again, just to make a real meal of that description. So the Whites, inside the last 10 minutes here at Jamison, they're leading 26 points to 15. West have got this through. Ben Coots, he's lost it in contact. Brody Lever's got it, but we've come back for the short arm. We've come back. And that'll be for the... Is it the... No, it's not the original knock-on.
Yeah, not a knock-on, but I think an infringement in the line-out.
So
he did reach quite a fair way over.
He did. Goddard doesn't worry about touch, just puts the ball up in the air. There's still a little bit of breeze, evidently, because Matthews really had to run in to take that ball on the fall. He's brought to ground 2 metres short of halfway.
8 minutes to go.
West just trying to work their way back into this. They're just going to have to do it patiently and carefully inside these last 7 or 8 minutes now. Strong carry up there is at Takiari, the replacement. Ashmore goes open side again. Southall with the wraparound.
Second wraparound today. That's
Mitch
lovely.
Ty with a good carry up through the middle. It's been really good here, the young captain today for West. Turnover opportunity here for the Whites is there. The ball's put out the front. Ben Coots is still on it. West have still got this. Southall goes open side again, and he's in a little bit of space now for West. It held up initially, but he gets to ground eventually. Ashmore isn't there. Brody Lever picks it up the back, gives it to Ben Coots. The Whites have ripped it out. That's good work there from Tom Hall on the lock. Mitch Douch has this at the back now for the Whites.
There'll be more
Kicks
frustration for Coots.
Check side, sort of a kick that goes straight down the throat of Reese Fuller, the fullback for West now. Gets a ball into space. Josh White is there at the back to clean up for the Whites, and he gets a kick downfield. It's going to come to ground on that centre wicket area. Danny Matthews picks it up. For West comes open side there to Ryan Kiley. He's looking for a back inside runner. He's on his own now. He's looking for support. West get there in the end to clean out. No one at the back here now for West. They've secured this ball eventually. Mitch Ty, the flanker, has it. He's brought to ground just short of the 10-metre line.
They've missed Pencer at the breakdown, the Whites.
They have the Whites, yeah. It's a really good call. Southwell with a little kick in over the top. Eyes a little bit of space. And finds touch over on that far side. That's not a bad option from Drew Southwell in the end.
He went down with a leg injury in the first half, and I think that Pencer would have stolen the ball there. That was way too long before they got a man there at scrum half.
Yeah, if there's been a criticism of the Whites today, and there hasn't really been a lot of need for this, but yeah, they have been a little bit slow and a little bit off at the breakdown, you're right, since Dan Pencer went off. But this run's been working so well that it really hasn't been an issue for them.
That's right.
So, that said, they've lost this set-piece line out, and so Wests are back on attack. Southwell now, he's looking for runners. Mitch Ty takes another run in that centre channel. He just operates goalpost to goalpost, Mitch Ty.
Does.
Ashmore, he's in a bit of space with a snipe down the short side. Southwell gets it, he's looking for an offload. He finds Charlie Lunaru. Can he get a third? He's only a metre or two out here. West are deep on attack inside the last 5 or 6 minutes here. West, Ashmore digging in, trying to get this ball out. Mitch Ty brings it into centre field through that replacement forward.
Get it back to Lunaru.
Looking for quick ball. Ashmore, it's Dave Amosa. We think the replacement prop gets it off, but the Whites have got a hand on it. West have still got this we play on. Mitch Ty's brought to ground just near the 22. They've lost a bit of ground here, West, but they've still got the ball. Importantly, we're going to come back for that knock-on from Mitch Douch. Well, that got exciting for a few minutes, didn't it?
Tell you what, they would have got the crowd going with the third try to Lunaru. Right in front of that Women's Day stand.
Inside the last 5 minutes now at Jamison Oval. And the home side trailing 26-15. If they can find another try here now, we're in for a real grandstand finish.
And the referee has blown time off, and I reckon there's still a chance.
Kyle Hands, the Queanbeyan replacement, is just getting some treatment there on this near side. It's him in number 25 there. Brody Ingram, I think, was initially thinking that might have been a forward that's gone down, so I had to blow time off. We can't pack the scrum without an important play. Oh,
it's a compliment on his figure.
It
doesn't
carry on. Play on.
Not at this time.
Time back on. Now, we're just working on getting some some scores from the other grounds to be very close, I would reckon, to full time over there. So 17 all is the full-time score at Uni North. Tuggeranong and Uni North have drawn 17 all. That's been a scrappy, gripping affair over there today. And after Tuggeranong absolutely thumped Gungahlin last weekend, and Uni North came away with a loss against Queanbeyan, they'll be wrapped with that result, I'd suggest.
Absolutely. And the Uni Norths were the ones, am I right, that went down to East in the first round?
That's right.
Yeah.
Lost on the bell, yeah. So that's their first points of 2018.
That has reclaimed...
West with their scrum feed now. We've got a bit over 3 minutes to play. The white scrum again is going forward. It's demolished this West scrum, but the West have got the scrum advantage. They're still on attack over in that far corner. Can West find their way onto the scoreboard again these last few minutes? Ben Coots is there at the back. It's going to be a pick and drive affair now for West. They're going to try and do this through the forwards. They're getting there in numbers. Doing it one carry and one metre at a time if they need to. Some really impressive defence there from the Whites. Ashmore's reached out, but I reckon he's lost this. He has.
And the referee was right there.
Yeah, he's come back for a penalty though. He's come back for a penalty, so the momentum remains with West for the time being. This has been a really, really enthralling last 15 minutes or so, Kieran. I wasn't entirely sure we were going to get that at half-time with the way this Queanbeyan forward pack was operating today, but West have ground their way back into it. We're back straight underway through Southwell and Ashmore. There's a play here. Danny Matthews has got it. He's in a little bit of space. He's got an offload there to Reece Fuller, but he's bundled into touch.
I don't think you can enter the try line backwards, Brett.
It was beep, beep, beep. He was going to reverse over the line, Reece Fuller. But that, again, impressive play from West. They're showing plenty of attack, but you've got to give the Queanbeyan scramble defence plenty of reps there.
Looking back on this second half, I think they went to sleep for a few minutes when we mentioned that West started to get back into it, invited into the game.
It almost feels like there's been several breaks in play, and particularly there when Tuaki Chang Tung went down, we were probably broken for 5 or 6 minutes, and that's really had an impact on the Whites, evidently.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that would be something that Coach Paul Dillon will work on.
Yep. Defensive line out here is stolen by West. Brodie Lieber's got this at the top as he brought it down to ground. He has to try. It's a West try to Brodie Lieber. Wow. Strap yourselves in for this last 90 seconds. We are in for a grandstand finish.
These star players are really stepping up, Brett. Brodie Lieber, with plenty of representative credentials to his name, found a way through the pack, and Queanbeyan, their defence was notable minutes ago, but just found a crack.
Yeah, it's a bold play. They sent 2 jumpers up West. Brodie Lieber with the line out steal. So Danny Matthews is going to line this conversion up. If he gets the kick away, we've got about a minute to play. The rest of the West team are ready back for this. Ready back for the restart.
It's an important 2 points, Brett.
Absolutely. The Whites are going to charge this down. There's 8 or 9 players going to line this up. Matthews getting a little bit of support from the Queanbeyan supporters.
Yeah. And that means
flags have stayed down, though.
They do need a converted try as opposed to an unconverted try to win this game now, West. So
26-20, the Whites lead. We're inside the last minute here, according to the clock here at Jamison Oval. Goddard gets us back underway. 26-20, the Whites lead. What have West got now? Ashmore finds the skipper, Mitch Tyre, who's been pretty strong in midfield. He's brought to ground on the 22 in that centre channel that he's operated from today. Ashmore keeps going to that far side. Southwell, he's brought to ground now. Ball scrappy at the back of the Whites. Got it. Have they found a way to get this ball back? They're piling in over the top of this now. The Whites, have they forced a turnover? I don't think they have. No, there's a penalty in the end of West, not rolling away. Charlie Muiroo with a quick restart. He's finding space up the middle, but he's on his own all of a sudden. West have got there in the end. They've found Southwell. They're still going here, West. They need to get down the other end of the field. Time's nearly up on this game, surely. There's another penalty here for West.
Yeah, going to look for
if
field
they
position.
find touch, yeah, and I thought Ashmore was going to go for a quick touch here. Mitch Ty has said no, we will kick for touch here.
Yeah, good decision.
Yeah,
there wasn't going to be a way through around halfway. Queanbeyan getting back.
Get a little bit of wind behind this kick.
Oh, no.
And Douch has it. The ball didn't find touch. Queanbeyan White's players trying to find out how long they've got to go. Douch was almost looking like he was going to run it into touch. He's still going. He's brought to ground centre field on his 10-metre line. The Whites, they get in around this. Just have to close this game down here now. Goddard with a good slow kick down to the other end of the ground. Danny Matthews to run back to his own post to clean this up. Is this West's last go? There's a bit of a scrap in midfield here now. There's time being called off. There's plenty of push and shove being going on. Brody Ingram must have stopped play here.
I think we better get some representatives from the Canberra Theatre down here. This is as dramatic as it gets in local rugby.
Absolutely.
6 points in and after full time.
So we haven't got Brody Ingram, our referee today. We haven't got his audio, unfortunately. I'd like to have heard what that was all about. He's talking to his touchy over on the far side.
Yeah, our eyes were all with the ball down the west end of the field.
Yeah, I was tracking back with Danny Matthews to see where he was going to run, and all of a sudden I could see Brody Ingram running back the opposite direction.
Didn't think there was a penalty there.
No.
And Ben Coots was involved, I saw.
He's been involved in most of the disagreements on field today, it has to be said.
There he comes out. Have a chat.
He's been spoken to now. It's a yellow card for Ben Coots.
There's a bit of a clash of the Titans there. A couple of big boys going at it, and the Whites may have a yellow card as well.
Yeah, I suspect there will be. That looks like it is Toby Wilson, the lock. So we'll be down for
a couple of words as they leave.
Down to 14-14, but I wondered where that was going to go when Ben Coots turned around. But it's just it's a well played, mate. They've earned themselves an early.
That's right.
Well played at the end.
Yeah, they're all happy. A bit of a hug there.
So this will be the last opportunity you would expect now, West, with the penalty. Time is up here at Jamison.
I tell you what, that's as fascinating as it gets, because if the penalty had gone the other way, that was all over for West.
So West now throwing to a four-man line out, which is an interesting choice in itself. Lieber gets up. He's been working well in the line out today for West. Mitch Ty once again in that centre channel. Makes good metres.
Needed a clean ball
Ashmore there. Comes open side to Southwell. He finds Charlie Luderoo with 3 tries today. Reece Fuller with a bit of footwork. He's put the ground inside the 22. Only a metre or two in from touch. Brody Lieber again with a bit of footwork. Former Sevens representative. Ball lost forward there. The Whites have got this. Just need to get this ball dead, you would think now. The Whites, they're in their own 22. They've played most of this second half there. Goddard puts the ball into touch, and that, I reckon, Kieran, is it. Full time here at Jamison. Oh, what a finish indeed.
Brett, that was as good as it gets in local rugby.
Absolutely.
The Whites looked for all money to be running down wins in that final 20 minutes. We were even talking about a runaway victory from the Queanbeyan boys. But West were not going to give up on their Ladies' Day.
They've done really, really well here, West. They've secured it 26 points to 20 in the end. Second half tries to Carl Elliott and to Tom Holland. For the Whites, Charlie Luderoo scored his second try. Brody Lieber with a really good try as well from a line out, and that put the score back to 26 points to 20. And Kieran, it's been a cracking afternoon, Ladies' Day at Jamison Oval. We need to talk. We haven't even had a chance to talk man of the match suggestions today.
Too much action.
Who's a couple of suggestions from today?
When you score a double on your home turf to nearly get your side back into the game, I would say that you're up there. Charlie Luderoo, surely one of those men.
Yeah, I think Brody Lieber's been really
no
good.
doubt as well for West too. But looking at the winning side, I'd say that Soccer Time Tye had a fantastic game, not his best. I really enjoyed watching Dan Pencer when he was on, but maybe didn't play the full 80 minutes, so out of contention.
But
Les
Ryan
Macon
Jones
in the front row, and Ryan Jones.
Ryan Jones had a really strong game when he came on for Dan Pencer. So they'll be in the mix, you would think, for the Vodafone Man of the Match, which will be unveiled in next week's Brumbies Stampede program next week. So the Whites have won 26 points to 20 here at Jamison Oval. West head to Gungahlin enclosed to play the Eagles next week in round 4. We'll be coming to you from Campese Field in Queanbeyan as the Whites host Tuggeranong in next weekend's Hans Superdry Griffin Legal John I. Dent Cup match of the round. Don't forget the Brumbies playing the Huggawatters at Canberra Stadium tomorrow afternoon. There's a fantastic kids in for free with paying adults is a good deal out